The story begins on Earth, where there was no sign of life. A spaceship arrives, and an engineer, as these aliens are called in the movie, steps out. The spaceship leaves him behind. The alien goes to the edge of a waterfall and drinks a black liquid. This liquid causes a strange reaction in his body. His body breaks apart and dissolves into the water. Along with this, his DNA mixes with the water, leading to the origin of life on Earth. Thousands of years pass, and different organisms evolve on Earth. In the year 2089, a couple, Elizabeth Shaw and Dr. Charlie Holloway, are conducting research. During their research, they find ancient paintings in a cave, where humans are worshipping giant, human-like beings. In some paintings, the humans are pointing toward a distant planet. The most surprising thing was that similar paintings were found in different parts of the world, and they were about 30,000 to 35,000 years old. At that time, there was no means of communication on Earth. So how could there be identical paintings in different places? Based on this, their team concludes that the giant people shown in the paintings were actually the creators of humans. The paintings pointing toward the planets were actually an invitation for humans to find them. With the help of star maps, they find the location of the planet, which is called LV-223. This planet was 35 light years away from Earth. Elizabeth and her team were working for the Wayland Corporation. The owner of this corporation was Peter Wayland, who wanted to know the secret of human origin. For this, he sends a team of 17 people to planet LV-223. The team travels in a spaceship named Prometheus. After 3 years, they reach the planet. First, we are shown David, who looks human at first glance, but is actually an android robot. Meanwhile, everyone else is in hypersleep. Upon reaching the planet, David wakes everyone up. Vickers is also in the team, who is the head of this project, and also Peter Wayland's daughter. She briefs everyone on the mission and shows a recorded clip in which Peter Wayland has a message for his team. In the message, he says, "If you have received this message, it means I am dead." After this, they see that there is no sign of life on the planet. Suddenly, Charlie notices a structure built in a perfectly straight line. He says, "Nature never makes anything in a straight line." They decide to land their spaceship near that structure. Charlie insists on going there immediately, but the pilot explains that there are only 6 hours of daylight left, so they should go in the morning. But Charlie refuses to listen and says they must go now to see what is there. They all put on spacesuits and move toward the structure. The atmosphere there is similar to Earth, but the carbon dioxide level is 3% higher, so humans cannot breathe without masks. They enter the structure and release advanced scanners that map the entire area and create a layout inside the spaceship. Water droplets are falling inside. A female scientist explains that moisture is forming due to the sun's heat, causing the droplets. Charlie sees on his screen that the atmosphere inside is exactly like Earth's. Without thinking, he removes his helmet. When nothing happens to him, the others also gradually remove their helmets. David moves forward and carefully looks at the markings on a wall, tracing them with his fingers. Suddenly, holographic-like figures appear, run toward them, and pass right through them. Everyone starts chasing the figures. The figures enter a room. One of the figures falls, and as it tries to get inside, a door closes from above, severing its head. The other figures suddenly disappear, and darkness prevails. Everyone turns on their torches. They see the corpse of a giant engineer, but the torso was on their side, and the head was lying on the other side of the door. This was all a holographic recording of past events, like CCTV footage. Since the door was closed, they try to open it. David traces some lines on the wall with his fingers, and the door opens automatically. On the other side of the door, they actually find the severed head of the engineer. When they go inside, they see a large painting. They also see many black pots kept there, filled with some kind of liquid. As they enter, the environment begins to change. Due to the rising temperature, the large painting begins to melt. Meanwhile, David touches the black liquid leaking from a pot and says, "Traces of life." This meant these aliens were creating different species here, and perhaps humans were also created here. Suddenly, an emergency message comes from the spaceship to return quickly because a massive storm is coming in 15 minutes. If they don't return on time, the spaceship doors will be closed. Shaw quickly puts the engineer's head in a bag and runs toward the spaceship with the team. During this, David secretly takes a black pot with him to the spaceship. As they come out, a massive storm arrives. With great difficulty, they reach the spaceship and manage to get inside. On the other hand, two members of their team who got separated are still stuck inside the structure. Due to the storm, they cannot be brought back and are told to stay there. Inside the spaceship, David secretly opens the black pot, which contains 3 tubes. These tubes contain a black liquid filled with DNA. David wants to see the effect of this liquid on humans, and since he did not like Charlie, he secretly mixes this liquid into Charlie's drink and gives it to him. On the other side, Shaw and her team conduct tests on the engineer's head they brought back. They give it an electric current, which causes movement in the head. But the current increases too much. They can't control it, and the head explodes. After this, Shaw checks the engineer's DNA and is shocked to see that it perfectly matches human DNA. This meant that we humans were created by these engineers. That same night, Charlie and Shaw have a physical relationship, unaware that the black liquid has started affecting Charlie's body. The next day, the pilot reports that there is no contact with the 2 people stuck in the structure. The team goes back to find them, but they find their corpses. They were killed by a strange snake-like creature the previous night. Meanwhile, the scanners David left behind stop at a closed door. David decides to go there alone. He opens the door and finds a large room containing sleeping chambers. There are some buttons there. As David presses them, holographic figures appear again. He sees an engineer enter the room, sit in a large chair, and press buttons. A map of the entire universe is projected in the air. David realizes these engineers were heading toward Earth. He also sees that one engineer is still alive, in a state of hypersleep for thousands of years. Now the scene shifts. Charlie's health begins to deteriorate rapidly because of the DNA liquid David mixed in his drink. Shaw tells the pilot to open the door because they are returning, but Vickers flatly refuses. She says she won't open the door because she doesn't want an infected human to spread the infection inside. Vickers comes out with a flamethrower. Charlie realizes he cannot be saved. He looks at Vickers and says, "Kill me." Vickers uses the flamethrower on Charlie, killing him instantly. Shaw is traumatized and faints. When she wakes up, she is in the lab where David is checking her. David tells her she is pregnant and has been for 3 months. Shaw is shocked because she was medically unable to conceive. Furthermore, she was in hypersleep 3 months ago and only had relations with Charlie 10 hours ago. David coldly explains that this is no ordinary fetus. It is an alien embryo developing because of the alien DNA. Shaw demands it be removed, but David says there is no specialist and surgery is impossible, suggesting she go into a sleeping chamber instead. Shaw feels intense pain and realizes she must act. She manages to escape the crew members trying to put her to sleep and reaches an advanced medical machine. She tries to start a surgery, but the machine says it is designed only for males and cannot perform a cesarean. Desperate, she commands it to perform an internal injury surgery to remove the fetus. The machine operates on her, and a large worm-like alien creature is pulled out. She staples her wound, exits the machine, and locks the creature inside the capsule to let it die. Meanwhile, a crew member infected by the DNA, Fifield, has become zombie-like and attacks the others. Shaw then enters a room and sees a shocking truth. Peter Weyland is alive. He had been in a sleeping chamber the whole time. He is very old and believes these aliens can give him the secret to eternal life. Shaw warns him, "You are wrong. These aliens are not what we thought. They weren't meant to save us. They were meant to destroy us." She says the engineers are dead, but David reveals one is still alive. They decide to go to that engineer. The captain, Janik, comes to Shaw and reveals another truth. This place isn't the engineer's home. It's a military base where they made biological weapons. He explains that the black pots contained the weapons that eventually turned on their creators. He vows not to let these creatures reach Earth. They go inside the structure where David shows them a warehouse of thousands of black pots. The captain realizes the structure is actually a spaceship. David takes them to the living engineer and wakes him up. David tells them the engineers were going to Earth to destroy their old creation before making a new one. When the engineer wakes up and sees the humans and David, he becomes furious. He rips off David's head and kills Peter Weyland and his team. Shaw escapes. The engineer starts the spaceship and it begins to rise. Shaw contacts Captain Janik, pleading with him to stop the ship because it is heading to Earth to destroy humanity. Janek decides to crash his ship into the alien ship to stop it. He tells Vickers she has 40 seconds to reach the life support pod. Janek and his co-pilots ram the Prometheus into the alien ship, causing a massive explosion that destroys both. As the alien ship falls, it crashes toward Shaw and Vickers. Vickers is crushed under the ship, but Shaw survives and reaches the life support boat Janek had ejected earlier. Inside, she hears a sound and realizes the alien creature she removed from her body has grown into a giant monster. David contacts her, warning that the engineer is coming for her. The engineer attacks Shaw, but she releases the giant alien monster on him. The monster grapples with the engineer and kills him. Shaw is now the sole survivor. She is heartbroken, but David's head contacts her via radio. He tells her there are other alien ships and he can fly one to take her home. Shaw says she doesn't want to go home. She wants to go where the engineers came from to find out why they wanted to destroy what they created. She retrieves David's head and body. She records a final message. If anyone receives this, do not come here. There is only death. Shaw and David fly away in an engineer spaceship to find their home planet. In the final scene, a new alien creature, the Deacon, bursts out of the dead engineer's body. Prometheus ends not with answers, but a warning. As David travels toward the engineer's world, carrying secrets never meant for humans. What comes next could rewrite our origin, or erase us completely. Like, subscribe, and share. The truth is only getting darker.